apologetics, where 5 minutes of your time may get you to the divine. Today we're going to continue the series Liturgical Abuses That Drive Me Crazy. We are recording live from Holy Name Cathedral in Chicago, Illinois. Now before we begin, let's start with a prayer. In nomine Patris et Filii et Spiritui Sancti. Amen. Gloria Patri et Filii et Spiritui Sancto. Secutor in principio et nunc et semper et in saecula saeculorum. Amen. Clearly I have to talk quietly if they stop me recording this video. So this is Holy Name Cathedral. This is the official church of Chicago. It was destroyed, the original, in 1871 in the Big Chicago Fire, and this present building was built in 1875. It is the seat of Cardinal Blaise Cupich, who is a cardinal in the church, and he is a cardinal renowned for being, I would say, euphemistically left of center. And this church is gorgeous, and I'll do some pictures here. First of all, when you walk in, it's gigantic. It holds 1,200 people. It is the Cathedral Church of Chicago, which of course historically is a very Catholic town with all the Italians and Poles and Germans that have lived here historically. And it's in the downtown Chicago area, obviously. So one of the first things that you notice, well, we'll start with the positives. The woodwork in the ceiling is just gorgeous. It's just gorgeous. It's just the woodwork, and you see the columns behind me with the Corinthian displays. It's just stunning. So the craftsmanship that they used in 1875 to build this church is just stunning. It's beautiful. Now, if I can, there is an Anglican church nearby, and I'm going to try to go in and take a picture because I went to it yesterday, and we're going to guess which of these is the Anglican church sanctuary and which of them is Holy Names. But either way, so the pro is that it's architecturally quite beautiful, and there's nothing bad about that. Now, some of the things that concern me is that, and I've read the history on this, so we know the Novus Ordo Mass was released in 1969. This church underwent renovation starting in 1968, and during that time, the cardinal removed all the statuary and removed the stained glass. So you can see the stained glass behind me is not conventional stained glass. It's that kind of, if you go to like Liturgical Abuses Part 3, I talk about modern churches that have like the elements, and you can't, there's nothing in it. So there's nothing instructional in it. So if you go to typical historic churches, and even the church in my small town in Texas, their stained glass has scenes from Jesus' life or Mary's life. They gutted that in 1968. They took out all the statues, they took out the stained glass, and what they did was, again, I highly recommend you read Michael Rose's book, Ugly as Sin. It came out about 20 years ago, and it talks about the history of how they essentially Protestantized the church after Vatican II and a lot of church architecture. So what have they done? Look at this. I can't even call this a corpus. I don't know what this is. This is a singular, unique, resurrected Jesus. I don't know. Like when I look at it, for me, and of course I don't know what the sculpture's intent was, it feels like Jesus is trapped in the cross. That's what it feels like. Clearly, it's not a crucifix. We can't call it a crucifix. He's awake. So, I mean, even if you see crucifixes where Jesus is awake, that's not really a true corpus or a crucifix. He needs to be dead. But this one is, of course, a modern abstraction of resurrected Jesus, but they're not even doing resurrected Jesus. Like Jesus is trapped in the cross. So that's the one thing you notice. It's hanging right above the altar. The altar, of course, is not the original, because the original church would add a retablo and the altar facing ad orientem. So this is, they put in this big marble altar, which is large. It's quite nice, but I guess we should look at the positive. It's not wooden from IKEA. The other thing you're going to notice is the tabernacle. So the tabernacle is not behind the altar, it's to the left, and I find this sculpture abhorrent and frankly demonic. I mean, you can't really tell on the top that that's Jesus, but I'm assuming it's either Jesus coming from hell after he's freed the righteous like Abraham or Noah, or it's him ascending after being resurrected. I can't tell, to be honest. But I am going to do an episode on Oregon Catholic Presbytery, the big Missalette company, how they were caught, or one of the brothers who was decorating or designing all the art was caught putting in satanic and sexual images into the graphic art. So we'll do a future episode on this. There's a documentary on YouTube about that I watched like 20 years ago. It's mind-blowing. But when I look at this sanctuary or this tabernacle, I just think it's hideous. It's not nice. So those are the two things. There's a statue of Mary, which is nice, but as a whole, the tabernacle and this cross really take away from the solemnity of this church and the beauty of this church, and it's sad. But aside from that, if you're ever in Chicago, or if any of you guys are in Chicago, this is Holy Name Cathedral. It's the cathedral of Cardinal Cupid, who could be our future pope. You never know. Guys, please post in the comments if you've ever been here, what you think of it. Please hit the notification, subscribe, and share button, share with other people. Until next time, take care, God bless, and pray.